Hello, everybody, and welcome and good afternoon. Welcome to First Page Feedback. This is our third installment of this, in which I read the first page of a submitted story, and give feedback on the page. So pretty simple, just like the title says. I am Pat Luther. I am a science fiction and fantasy author. You can find my books everywhere books are sold. There's Yellow Tape and Coffee, which is a urban fantasy epic with werewolves set in the streets of Portland. Thoughtless, which is a science fiction novel set in the asteroid belt. And Yagmar the Barbarian, which is exactly what it sounds like. Okay. Anyways, that's enough about me. Let's go into our first page feedback. Today's page. So what I do here is I read the first page, I give feedback. If you're interested in submitting a page, you can do so. The links will be in the comments below or in the description of the video below. Unless you're reading this on Twitch, in which case it's in the description of the channel. But if you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the description of the video below. So, let's see. Today's first page is from Asylum Street. It's a work in progress by Rolf Semprebon. And I'll have links to his information also in the description. So, without further ado, let's begin reading the page. So, this is the first page. The formatting is entirely my own, so the issues with it do not reflect on the author, please. I get these in text when I get them through the form, and then I put them into Word and format them myself. Which is why it's also just a little bit longer than a page. But I do it so I can read it while I'm reading it for the camera. So, let's begin. And again, this is Asylum Street by Rolf Semprebon. Oregon, summer 1880. Late on a Sunday afternoon, Late on a sunny afternoon, the Appaloosa stallion trots down Asylum Street in East Portland, determined look on its face. Riderless, but with a custom-made saddle. A couple of 11-year-old farm boys, sweating and panting for breath, in straw hats and breeches, no shirts or shoes, run after it. Cooter looks up from his whittling at the clop of hooves on packed dirt. "What in tarnation? Dagger! What you doing all by your lonesome?" Ignoring him, the Appaloosa strides past. Cooter throws his whittling project in a vest pocket to chase the steed. "Mister," gasped one of the boys, tugging at Cooter's sleeve, "help us catch our horse?" "Your horse?" Cooter scoffs. "Too fine a beast for the likes of you or me. That'd be Dagger, Senator Mitchell's horse. How long you been following him?" 2 miles, I reckon," says the kid. "Saw him trot past my daddy's farm." "Reckon he's headed home." 20 feet ahead, Dagger turns down 7th Street. 5 minutes later, the horse whinnies and trots into the front yard of the Mitchell mansion. Muttering to each other, the two boys turn to head home, trudging slowly. John Mitchell, a tall man with piercing eyes and long, graying beard, comes out on the porch. "Blessed news, Senator Mitchell, sir." Cooter reaches the bottom of the stairs. "Dagger coming home." "But where's Tommy?" Mitchell frowns. "Tommy? He rode out on Dagger. Horse returning alone is not good news at all." Cooter remembers. Tommy, John Mitchell's son, rode east with Cindy Lou Hawthorne several days earlier. "I was beginning to worry," Mitchell mutters. "Gone since Thursday. They should have returned. Now just the horse? Not good at all, Cooter. Go tell Dr. Hawthorne we've a problem." So there it is, the first page. So let's talk about this a bit. Let's go back up to the top. First of all, yay, Portland. Sorry, I'm from Portland. It's my hometown, so I always like seeing things out there because it's fun. Let's see. We got the location, the date, Oregon, summer 1880. So we know exactly when it is. So it's for establishing setting. That's the quickest and easiest way to do it, right? We know exactly where we are, when we are. It's the olden times, 1880. Let's see. So there we go. We painted this nice little picture. We got a horse. It's wearing a saddle. Let's see. What do we know now? We've got a riderless horse, but it's a custom-made saddle. So I know this horse belongs to a rich guy, but the people who, because custom-made saddle always, denotes money. Something like that. I mean, custom-made is always denotes money. Let's see, a custom rather than handmade, which means the same thing but has a very different connotation. Handmade usually, I mean, sometimes that'll denote that it's special and well crafted, but a lot of times it just means that it's a person couldn't afford one, so they made it themselves. Even though technically it's the same thing. So connotations. We won't go there. But anyways, horse, custom-made saddle, a couple of 11-year-old farm boys. We got the picture right away. Straw hats and breeches, no shirts or shoes. So these are not. So we got a rich person's horse, poor people chasing it. Right? This is not people with lots of money who have custom-made saddles. And they admit that almost immediately when they claim it's their horse. Cooter immediately notices it's not. Let's see. So, no big deal there. Horse gets home. Let's see here. Oh, and Cooter agrees with me. He immediately, he even recognizes the horse, right? Not just the saddle. So he knows the senator. Probably everybody knows each other. Portland was not that big of a town in 1880, and this is East Portland, which was, I guess, an even smaller town. I know it got incorporated into Portland at some point in the late 19th, early 20th century. Way back in the olden days. I think Oregon was a state already by then. Oh, yeah, because 1859 or something. Let's see. Anyways. State of Oregon, Portland, East Portland, which is nearby Portland. Now just known as the East Side. Let's see here. I'm guessing Cooter's the main character, it looks like, because he's the only one named, other than Senator Mitchell. But he's the first one we meet and talk to. So it's possible that it's Senator Mitchell, but this seems to all be from Cooter's point of view. The only person whose mind we see inside is Cooter. So I'm guessing he's the main character. Let's see here. What else we got? Plot-wise, so we've got an established plot, right? Horse comes home, no rider. They ask immediately, where's Tommy? He rode out with Cindy Lou Hawthorne. I don't know who that is, but probably another prominent people. Both Mitchell Street and Hawthorne Street are main streets in East Portland. I think Hawthorne goes all the way to the west side too now. Mitchell might also. Anyways, doesn't matter. They're both main streets in Portland. And most of the streets in Portland are named after prominent families or citizens or people from the days of, early days of Portland. So maybe this is historical. Maybe these are real people who actually existed. I'm not sure. I don't know what genre this is. Could be historic fiction. Could be a historic, mystery. So it could be a fictionalized version of historic events, or it could be completely made up events. I'm not sure which. I'm not familiar with these people enough. Let's see. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, not sure what genre it is. My form doesn't include the genre. So, but we do know that we got a mystery here that's set up. We've got the, what happened to Tommy. So maybe they're real people. Okay, but at any rate, it is a mystery, missing person. So we know right from the beginning what we're getting into here. Let's see, couple of other just minor nits. So I guess it kind of covers most of what I was going to say about it. Let's see here. A couple minor nits. So let's see, Dr. Hawthorne. Yeah, again, Hawthorne's a major street in Portland, so that may be named after him. Or maybe the author was just using Portland streets to name his people with, like, The Simpsons does. So it could go either way. You'd have to read the rest of the story to find out, or probably just have to read the blurb on the back of the book, which I also have not read. The blurb, I mean. Yeah. See if... Okay, so... Okay, so if Cooter, we hear here, a horse returning to lawn is not good news. So Cooter remembers that Tommy Mitchell's son rode east with Lindy Sue Hawthorne several days earlier, right? We got that statement. But if that's true, so we hear that. So if that's true, why does he think it's good news that Tommy rode off alone on his horse? That may be something to look into. So there's also, immediately after he thinks that, Mitchell then reiterates that he's been gone since Thursday. He rode off on his own. Um, right, he rode on Dagger. So we got the same piece of information twice in a row from two different people. So it's a little redundant there. Those could have been combined into a single paragraph or sentence. Probably, all done with dialogue. Maybe I would skip the blessed news, Senator Mitchell, sir. Or maybe there's a good reason. Maybe Cooter has a good reason for thinking the horse coming home alone is good news, right? Maybe he just assumed the horse was missing for some reason, didn't realize Tanya was also missing with it. And we don't know about Cindy Lou or Lindy Sue if she's also missing. Let's see. We learn about different classes of people. So different classes of people know each other, which is not unusual in a small town like that. Senator Mitchell's probably not that rich compared to the rest of the town. He's got a mansion, so obviously he's doing better than some of the others. But it's still, he knows these other people who live, just down the street from him, who are whittling on the front porch, and thinking that a horse like that is way too fancy for somebody like him. Let's see. We know the different classes, so we got a little bit of world building there, right? We got the class division, we got the setting, we've got old time Portland, we've got people riding on horses. Gone since Thursday, and he's just beginning to worry. So, if you're riding out somewhere, if you're going on a trip, coming back since a few days, back then, you don't know. It could take days to get somewhere, and being a day or two late isn't necessarily cause for alarm or concern. You're not going to call, no cell phones, not even landlines for the most part. Maybe you can find a landline somewhere. I don't know when phone service became common. The senator might well have a phone, but I would be surprised if anybody else in the town did. Which means even if the person was just fine and staying somewhere, that somewhere may not have a phone. But it's old enough to begin to worry, or it's been long enough that he's beginning to worry, and the horse coming home alone, now his fears are confirmed that something happened. So we got the mystery set up, we got that going. What in tarnation? Just want to mention something about that. So that seems, these days, the whole word tarnation, I've mostly seen it online used to mock rural people. So it's a word I would be careful in using if I was to write something like this. Now, this may be kind of a variation of the theme of the Tiffany problem, where something that seems like it's actually historically accurate, like this could be a common term people in Portland used in 1880, and that's quite possible. But it may not seem like it seems off still, like maybe the author is using it to mock them. It just, I would not use that, or I'd use it a little differently maybe. I'd be careful with using that word, just for that reason. Let's see. So, and again, that may be perfectly historic accurate, and maybe it's just the parts of the internet that I read could be skewing my perception too. So take that whole thing with a grain of salt. But again, it's something to think about and be careful with. And a lot of the times, you can, if you use words that are not common, be careful with them. And sometimes different subcultures will use things differently. And of course, you're never going to get, don't be scared of using them. Don't be so terrified of using them. You never use any kind of subcultural word like this, because down that road lies madness, as they say. Be aware of who you might be offending and when, and whether or not you care, and whether or not they actually will be offended by it. And you're not going to completely avoid offending everybody. So people love to take offense at things sometimes. So again, I guess well, what I'm trying to say is be careful with that, but don't be too careful with it. Like, don't be so careful you never use things like this. So again, I don't know the genre. Don't know if this is based on true events or not. It could quite well be true crime, or it could be a historic novel. I mean, at this rate, I don't even know what it is. So maybe the whole thing will switch to Tommy and Lindy Sue running off to elope somewhere, and it's actually a historic romance. But I don't think so. But maybe it is. I don't know, because I haven't seen the rest of the book yet. I've only got this one page, and I don't know what genre it is. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much my total of my feedback for this one. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got something out of it. If you did, leave me a note or a comment in the comments. Yeah. Let's see. And again, I'll have information about this story in the description below, and a page if you're interested in submitting your own. I read these every Friday. I post them every Friday morning. I read them sometime through the week live on Twitch. My Twitch, I'll post my Twitch channel in there too. So if you want to subscribe and get notified when it goes live, if you don't care about that, then you don't have to worry about that, and you just watch on YouTube, which is where I go. And there'll also be a blog entry that goes along with it. I'll have my notes that I wrote in there. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye. Have a good day.